Okay, so this topic has come to my attention, recently, but it's popped up several times throughout recent years. Stop cutting people off so quickly. Like, my goodness, stop cutting people off so quickly. Now, I'm going to get into the nuances of this, but this is a topic where I'm just like, we have like an epidemic of this. It's like, we cut people off for the most minor inconveniences now, and it's ridiculous. It's like we're going to end up being like, if you're my age, if you're like in your 20s, but honestly, this applies to any age. But I'm just like, do you want to end up like 85 and alone and have no one around you? Or do you want to end up 40 and alone and have no one around you? Or insert age here down the line after you cut off every person you know just because they wronged you at some point? Now, don't get me wrong. There are times that are appropriate to cut people off, but it should take a good amount of stuff happening before you get to that point. I feel like social media has us like in this weird societal phase where it's legitimately just like cut off anyone and everyone who doesn't serve you. And it's like, does the relationship really need to be so one-sided all the time? It's like there can be people in your life and maybe for a season they're not really doing anything for you but being a present friend, or you know what I mean, like just somebody who's in your life. But I'm more so speaking to the offense side of things today. People will cut people off for literally anything. It's like, oh, we had a disagreement, so you're cut. Or there was a miscommunication, so you're cut. Or we had an argument, I don't think we can be friends anymore. And honestly, you can insert the topic to like a wide variety of things. I'm honestly kind of hesitant to even name anything specific because I feel like it might start something. But I say that, but like this is a new channel. I don't have that many subscribers yet. But on the off chance that like a handful of people see this and talk about it in the comment section. Like, it's gotten to the point where like I'm seeing people like say that they're cutting off family members and like becoming estranged for like things that are like not family busting offenses. And again, I'm speaking on like a wide variety of things here, but like you got to stop listening to people on Instagram that have nothing to do with your life that are telling you to just cut people for no reason. Stop listening to the people that say, oh, your boyfriend or girlfriend is a toxic person because they don't agree with literally everything you say. Like, that is actually a ridiculous mindset to have. I legitimately saw somebody, and it was like a meme, so it's like they were kind of joking, but it's like not too far off these days. And then somebody was like, yeah, if your boyfriend doesn't buy you a house, then cut them off. They're toxic and you shouldn't be dating them. And I'm just like, you know what? That was kind of funny, but we're heading in that direction. And that's not just one-sided to girls either. Guys will have this, like, guys are saying some of the same things. It's just like, oh, your girlfriend didn't submit to you as being the ultimate alpha male. She disagreed with you. You should cut her off because she's not. It's just like, bro, stop. There's give and takes with all of this stuff, but it's really just gotten to the point where it is straight up ridiculous. We gotta stop doing this. Now, as I said earlier, there are times where it is necessary to cut someone off. I don't want to make it seem like you should just let people literally drag you through the mud. Now, there's a whole concept of like forgive someone 70 times, 7 times. And that is 100% correct. I stand by that. I am honestly a firm believer that you should forgive people for the things that they do to you. Like, and you should be endless in your forgiveness. Like, I really do think that. And it's not even always for the other person. It really is like for you a lot of the time. It's like when you hold on to like unforgiveness and bitterness and hold grudges, it's like it drags you down in life. Even for some of the most horrific offenses, I think after time and healing, you should be able to come to a place of forgiveness. Now, don't hear what I'm saying as let that person stay in your life and drag you through the mud, because those are two completely different things. Forgiveness does not equal reconciliation automatically. You can forgive someone and respectfully cut them out of your life, or you could forgive someone and decide to continue to have a relationship with them and repair the damage that was done. And I would try to lean more towards forgiving people and repairing the damage that was done. Now, again, hear me when I say this, because there's a lot of nuance. If somebody has done something absolutely horrifically heinous to you and it was like a legitimate sin against you or a crime against you, it is okay to cut that person off and have them out of your life. What I'm advocating for here is that maybe we need to re-gauge what cut-offable offenses are, because I'm just like, I'm sorry, but no, you guys having a disagreement on where to go eat as a friend group isn't like this. It just shouldn't turn into like some big gargantuan argument and now we're not talking for 2 weeks like that. Like, some of these reasons why I have seen people cut people off is actually absurd, and this is coming from someone. I have cut people off in my life before. Now, it's not like a frequent thing, like it's not like in the double digits or anything like that, but it's only had to happen a couple of times, and it's because like what was done against me was so egregiously bad where it was just like, oh, I can't have you in my circle anymore because you are legitimately toxic and dangerous to my mental health. Like, legitimately. Like on some, like, this is like 10 out of 10 like offensive behavior. But we are so sensitive as a culture right now. We'll cut people off for like something that's a 4 out of 10 offense, or a 5 out of 10 offense, or even a 7 out of 10 offense. Now we start getting to like the 8 and the 9 and the 10 realm, maybe we can start looking at evaluating cutting people out of your life because they're legitimately just like toxic for you and everyone around you, or endangering you in some way. But maybe I might end up, honestly, you know, if I keep doing these Yap videos, I'm sure that I'll revisit this topic at some point, and maybe I'll throw some more specific examples in there. I'm kind of being vague on purpose this time around to just talk about the concept in and of itself. But like I said, maybe one day I'll go over something where it's a little bit more specific to kind of like gauge what people think a cut-offable offense is. Actually, yeah, maybe sound off in the comment section below how you feel about this topic so far, of what I'm saying. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you feel like we're kind of like at a point as a society where we cut people off like way too quickly? I really want to know what you guys have to think about the topic if you managed to get this far in the video. I'll also greatly appreciate it if you drop a like and subscribe if you're this far, because if you're listening to a random like me talk this long, I assume to some degree I grabbed your attention, so help me out. Appreciate it. The last thing I want to touch on in today's topic is instead of cutting people off so quickly, try to focus on communication first. Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen this in my personal life, both with me being the offender, other people being offensive towards me, or just being a third party spectating the things that are happening around me. But I can't tell you how many times arguments or rifts or just prolonged periods of not talking to a person have taken place because of miscommunication or not communicating enough to begin with. If you're a person who is kind of like afraid to express how you feel about things, then I would even push you more so to communicate because of that. We should be in relationships where we feel comfortable that we can actually talk to people and say, hey, what you did yesterday actually hurt me and it's not okay. And moving forward, I need you to not treat me that way. But for some reason, we're so afraid to have these conversations for various topics. Maybe it was the way you grew up. Maybe you were honest with someone at some point, but you blew up on them and you don't want to do that again. Or maybe you were taught that, you know, as a kid, communicating your feelings is a big no-no. It'll get you killed. I mean, like there's a plethora of reasons as to why we get to that point. But as adults, or honestly, even if you're younger and you're hearing this, if you're in your teenage years, oh my gosh, you would be so ahead of the curve if you learn how to communicate effectively and increase your emotional intelligence by the time you're an adult. Like, I can't tell you how far ahead of the game that will put you, because the sad truth is most people out here aren't communicating effectively. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm kind of passionate about this because I see such an increase in this, and I even felt myself kind of going down that path at some point. And again, I just want to reiterate, because sometimes people don't listen. Yes, there are times where it is appropriate to cut people off, but I still think that you should come to a point of forgiveness with time and healing, of course, because some things are just like absurdly bad. But that does not mean that you have to keep that person in your life. But with that being said, we do need to come to a place where we can have disagreements with people, but realize that just because I disagree with you, I am not your enemy. That is a stupid concept, because when you want people to only agree with you and it's all my way or nothing, we don't have a relationship, you are advocating for a very sterile, bland, boring, pixie fairy world where everything is just gray and black and there's literally no color in between. And that's not a good future to advocate for. That's actually really boring if you're just talking to people that only agree with you 100% of the time. I would not want to live like that. That sounds awful. I like stimulating conversations. Don't agree with me on everything just for the sake of doing it. That's stupid. As you can tell, I have a lot to say on this topic, but like I said, it's probably something that'll be revisited in the future. So yeah, learn to communicate with people instead of just, you know, oh, you stepped on my toe, you're cut off. Like, seriously. And if this is something that you've struggled with legitimately, let me know in the comment section. I would love to have a little back and forth with the topic. Or is this something that you're kind of like skilled in? It's like, oh yeah, I'm okay with disagreeing with people and not hating them by default just because of that. It honestly gives me the old sentiment. If anybody grew up with parents where, I'm sure some people will resonate with this, where it's kind of like there's this concept as a kid that disagreement equals disrespect. And I can't tell you how many of my friends shared that kind of like mentality that had to be overcome with me. Because as a kid, it happens a lot. It's just like with adults in general. And it's like, sometimes you're legitimately being respectful. You're just expressing how you feel. And it's legitimately met with iron fistedness. It's like, no, you're disrespectful. And it's like, no, I'm not being disrespectful. I just respectfully disagree. But it's a whole thing. But that has transferred from us doing that, from that happening to us as like kids talking to adults, to seeing that happen in our day-to-day lives with our peers, or you know what I mean? And it's just like, it just shouldn't be. So to end this rambling rant yap session, focus on communication first. Stop being so quick to cut people out of your life. Really sit down and evaluate, is this something that I need to do? Like, do I really need to cut this person off? Or can this be resolved with healthy confrontation? Because all confrontation is not bad. We need to stop thinking that as people. Confronting someone is one of the healthiest things that you could do for your relationship, because it adds a little friction and growth. Like, my goodness, can we stop just people pleasing all the time? But I'm gonna stop here, or I'll just start talking myself in circles. I know how I get. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I genuinely appreciate you getting this far in the video. And until next time, I leave you with this.